Ooh, baby, I masturbate every day. I want to tell you I masturbate every way. So horny to be here. So horny to be here.
Well, that was very revealing, Dutch.
Yep.
Well, without further ado, this is Ricky Stanicky. Go on.
No, with this movie, I watched it when it first came out. I mean, it's been out for a few months now. Yeah, I think a few months. And
so I know what everybody's thinking. Yes, we actually don't do movies that are old as shit.
yeah. But I mean, I watched it several times because it's funny. I mean, everybody in this movie makes it funny. You got the three kids that obviously grow up together and they're all best friends. So you have Dean, JT, and Wes. And the way it starts off is it's a Halloween night, and Dean's dressed up as Austin Powers. JT's dressed up as Freddy Krueger, and Wes is dressed up. You can't tell if he's a dog or a cow.
It looks like a cow because it's like white with black spots.
Yeah, and they're like, "So are you a dog or a cow?" He's like, "I'm a dog, but I'm different." And he has a red marker.
Sharpie.
Yeah, and he's like, "I'm a dog with a boner."
So, and this is just a mishap, I guess. Not a continuity error, but looking at the time frame, because when they were kids,
I think it was 92. It said.
I don't believe the retractable Sharpies existed then.
And I'm pretty sure that Austin Powers didn't come out until like 97.
Yeah, that's another. Shit. Yeah, they.
But I mean, I could be wrong. It may have been like 96, 97. I can't remember exactly what year it started off.
Yeah.
But 1992 is sticking with me in my mind.
Sticking like Stanicky.
Yep.
But yeah, Wes was like the dog with the erection.
Yeah.
With the retractable red Sharpie, which was kind of funny.
Yeah. And Wes's character, like, he's so stupid. And I guess that's what makes it so funny is, you know, when they're going to this one particular house that they say never puts out candy, never does anything, they never answer the door, and they're like, we're going to set a bag of shit on fire on his porch.
It's like they've got the NRA sticker on the front door.
Yeah. Well, when Wes holds up the bag, he was like, "You got the dog poop?" And he's like, "I sure do." And
Jesus,
then Dean's
how big was that dog?
"Oh, it was tiny, but there were 7 of them." It's the dumbest line I've ever heard.
I like the sticker on the door, though, because it says, "If you can read this, you're in range."
Yeah.
That'll show them.
Yeah. But then, you know, so they set the dog shit on fire. They ring the doorbell. They run off, and they're like, "This is going to be funny." Well, no one comes to the door.
And that fire just starts spreading very quickly.
Yes.
There's a freaking scarecrow right next to it.
Yeah. That catches on fire, and they're like, "Oh, my God, we got to do something." So Wes, being the idiot that he is like, "Oh, well, I'm just going to put the fire out." So he stomps on the bag of shit.
Which you'd never do.
No, never.
He's like... What does Dean say? Dookie in mouth?
Oh no, that's
Dookie.
JT.
Oh,
he's
JT
like,
was like,
yeah, he's like, doo-doo in mouth, doo-doo in mouth. But they're like, "We got to call 911," and JT's just sitting there the whole time, and he was like, "Just calm down." And then his jacket catches on fire, and he's like, "Call 911." So they go to Dean breaks into the house, and he was like, "Hey, your house is on fire. Don't shoot me." And then he comes out, and he's like, "No one's home." And then Wes turns around, and he's like, "Look, guys. They do give out candy." They do give out candy. They're like, "Oh, we're in so much trouble." So they leave JT's jacket behind, but they're like, "Oh, well, we'll just, write a name inside of it. That way the police go looking for this person." And I love Wes in this scene as well, because as they're running away, he's like, "Give me a name." And he's like, "Zeus." And then JT's like, "Ricky." He's like, "No, I need Wes yells Zeus, and he's like, "I need a human name." He's like, "Ricky." And he's like, "Okay, give me a last name." And he's like, "Stanton." And he's like, "That's my last name." He's like, "So?"
But he had already started
your
spelling
first name's
it.
not Ricky.
He put STA already on the jacket. So he just fills it in with Nicky, so it's Ricky Stanicky.
Yep.
And then they leave it in the lawn, so they could have a scapegoat.
Yep. And then the police show up and they're like, oh, look, kid's mom wrote his name in the jacket. Well, they quickly realize, hey, we just made a best friend for life. Someone that can get them out of all this trouble that they get into.
Yeah.
They can just blame it on someone that doesn't exist.
Yeah, so initially that's what they were using it for in their childhood, but then in their adult life, they just used it as a way to get out of shit.
Yeah. A baby shower? Yeah, I'd love to go. I can't, though. Ricky Stanicky, he's got that.
The cancer's come back.
It's back.
Like, why does it have to be... why does it have to be cancer? He's like, doesn't that come back? Or like, what if it comes back or whatever? Like, yeah, that'll get us right through the World Series.
Yeah. It was like, is like chemo again? He was like, yep, and that'll take us right up to the World Series. So it's just things that they want to do, which, come to find out at the end, the girl, Dean's girlfriend, is furious about this because she's like, you went to Dollywood. She was like, I love Dolly Parton. You could have taken me to Dollywood and we could have had just as much fun. And I've brought this up several times before in numerous episodes that you and I have done. Tell the truth, man. Tell the truth.
Shall set you free.
Yeah. I mean, but if you tell the truth, like, there's a lot of things that could just be worked out, like, easily.
Yeah, because you don't have to cover anything up afterwards.
My dad always used to tell me when I was growing up, he was like, you should always tell the truth because you never have to remember it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, because it could be one of those things. You'll get caught up in a lie somewhere. So just tell the truth.
Well, you wouldn't remember the lie either, most likely. Not at our age.
Yeah.
But I do like this movie. I've only watched it literally 2 times now. So,
yeah.
Well, technically 2.5, maybe.
Right.
But no, I did enjoy this movie too. Zac Efron, like, he looks noticeably different, and I didn't know, I think, until this movie came out that he had been in an accident and had to have facial reconstruction surgery.
Yes.
I found a before and after picture of him on the Google machine, and he doesn't look the same.
I know, and I mean, thank goodness he's okay. But I mean, yeah, it's horrible. It's like a horrible tragedy.
So even celebrities are not immune.
Exactly.
Exactly.
The introduction to Ricky Stanicky is played by John Cena, but he's Rock Hard Rod, and he does celebrity, kind of like celebrity impersonations, but like rock stars. He's got Alice Cooper that he does, Billy Idol.
He takes famous songs mostly from the 80s and
REO Speedwagon,
and he makes them like X-rated or R-rated, whatever.
Yeah,
by changing up the lyrics. So grab that stick.
Yeah, lube your hand with spit. When a boner comes along, you must grip it. To make the cream come out, you must whip it.
He says something like, you must unzip it.
Yeah. I think John Cena did phenomenal in this part.
He's very entertaining. Like he'd been in a couple of other things. Wasn't he in that movie with Amy Schumer?
Yes.
No, what the fuck was it called? Trainwreck or something?
I know he was in Trainwreck. I know he was in another movie, I think, called Sisters.
He had just played small parts, and even in Daddy's Home, he just had a small role in that.
Yeah,
and the sequel.
Yeah, and then that he has another movie that I think it's on Amazon Prime called The Wall. His part, it's not a long part at all. Aaron Taylor Johnson is also in the movie. He has the more speaking roles, but I mean, John Cena does a phenomenal job in that. I think anything that I've ever seen him do, I'm not disappointed in. That's why I refuse to watch The Marine. So,
why, was that bad or something? Did you get bad reviews or something?
Oh, sure. Yeah,
I'd never heard of that one. I think for me, he was in the sequel to Suicide Squad.
Yes, the Peacemaker.
Yeah, he played Peacemaker, and then they did the spinoff show And I got into that, and I'm like, it just gave me more respect for John Cena as an actor because he was funny as hell in that.
Yeah, and I think he gets a lot of that just mainly from being a wrestler because, you have to be able to talk smack, but at the same time, entertain the crowd while you're doing it.
And he has to be able to talk smack because, you can't see him.
Exactly.
Which wasn't he on Graham Norton one time and he was explaining that? Like how he developed that whole thing?
Yes.
And it was because like his brother had said something to him?
Yeah.
But when his brother did it, he did it differently. The way that he motioned over his face. I think he just put his hand over his face.
Yeah.
But when John Cena adapted it, he like waves his hand in front of his face.
Yes.
And that just kind of stuck. He's like, so now when everybody talks to him, it's like, well, you can't see him. Like, where is John Cena here?
Yeah. I love seeing the pictures of him online.
Did I just hit the mic?
I didn't hear it.
I thought I heard it. Damn it. It's contagious.
Oh, it's not me this time.
Foiled again.
I like the memes out there of John Cena where it's like him in a car or something. And it's like, oh, here's the new self-driving car.
That's good.
Yeah, and then I think someone took a picture of them with John Cena, and they're like, oh, I met John Cena last night. And it was like, well, how come you didn't get a picture with him? So it's just, I mean.
He's like a vampire.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't show up. I wonder if you can see his own reflection.
No, I think.
So they go to Atlantic City.
Yeah, to see some. I don't know the guy's name. I'm not even going to attempt. Rubier.
I don't know. Some it looked like a
DJ or something.
like some EDM, whatever.
Yeah.
And they're drinking, they're partying, having a good time, and everything like that. And then they go to this bar after the show, and they order a couple drinks, and then John Cena's character Rod comes out of nowhere, and then he orders a drink, and it's like this is what he does. Like,
and your plate of your finest, crispiest calamari.
Yeah, and he has a...
No, Rod, no, you're not mooching off of the customers again. He's like, get out. I'll call security. And he's like, oh, Barry. Yeah, and me and Barry, he just loves giving me the business.
Which is funny because you don't hear people say that anymore.
I know. I'm trying to bring it back.
I think I like it. I like it because it's stupid.
It is.
But the banter between Rod and Barry is funny because, like, what does he say? Before he's like, no, you can order a plate of like, get the fuck out of here before I call the security.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, this guy. But I do like when he was like, oh yeah, he goes, no, I can do impersonations, and then Barry's like, hey, I have someone you can impersonate. He's like, oh yeah, who is it? And he was like, someone that gets the fuck out of here.
That's what
never comes back.
That's what it was. Yeah.
He's like, Barry. And then, but when JT says, he was like, all right, let's hit the tables, and he's like, yeah, let's go. Where are we going? And they were like, oh, we were just thinking about maybe staying around here. And he was like, oh, yeah, that's great. I know a bunch of people here, too. I'm really good friends with Barry, the bartender.
Yeah, he does a couple impressions before that scene happens. Like, he does a Owen Wilson impression. And he, like, turns around, like, to get into character.
Yeah.
Before he turns back around, he's like, wow. I don't remember what he says, but he does a pretty good Owen Wilson impression.
Oh, he turns around and he was like, wow. Where in our relationship did you not think that I could not do an impersonation of the Big O?
The Big O.
But then Wes is like, oh, man, that's a pretty solid Owen Wilson.
It wasn't that good. JT.
JT is such a dick.
He is a dick in the entire movie. He's so anal retentive about everything. He's just...
You find out that he's about to be a father. Like, he's married. Him and his wife are about to have a kid. And they wanted him to be the... I can't remember what they referred to him as, but like the Jub or something weird, and they're like, oh, you're gonna be that? And he was like, oh yeah, the midwife says, this is the best thing. And but him and his wife are arguing about the bottle of wine. He was like, no, you're not having any alcohol. And she was like, I am gonna have one glass of wine. And any married man out there knows that at that point you come to a compromise and you let your wife have the one glass of wine. So it's like end of discussion.
Yeah, it's not like you're throwing shots at tequila back or anything.
Right. So, but then he's talking about, he's like, and she's like, oh, he wants to be naked during the birth. And he's like, I don't want to be naked. I want to have my shirt off. That way, me and my son have skin-to-skin contact. He's like, and that will establish a bond between us. Well, they're in Atlantic City, and she goes into labor premature. Like 6 weeks premature.
Yeah, because while they were on the plane, they all turned their phones off, so the women in their lives couldn't, or I'm sorry, in Wes's case, men, couldn't track their location.
Right.
Because they told them that they were going to Albany.
Yeah, because Ricky Stanicky, the cancer was back.
Right.
And they're like, oh, yeah, no. And they're like, he's going into surgery tonight. And they're like, yeah, they're probably going to remove the other testicle. And then JT's like, wait, don't you need at least one to live?
Oh, you idiot. That's kidneys.
He's like, oh. He's like, okay. He was like, you just go ahead and go. I'll take care of Summer Hayes, who's their boss. And she was like, no, honey, you need to go with him. He's like, no, I can't do that to the boss. And she was like, sure you can. He doesn't want to be here at a baby shower. And then he's sitting there and he was like, well, guess we're going to Albany. And then you find out it's just all a ruse.
Yeah. But I like when they're on the plane and they're talking about the baby's name. He's like, he says, the baby Whitaker. Yeah. And then Dean was like, oh, so you're actually going with Whitaker.
He's like, yeah, it's an old family name.
And then Wes is like, that's a good name. Yeah. But then it comes up later on. Like, Dean is like, I fucking hate that. It's just a stupid name.
Yeah, because Wes, I don't know what Wes's deal is. I mean, because it seems like in Wes's situation, like, okay, you are a gay black man living with a white gay man. And your white gay man seems to be putting in all the work and all the effort while you just sit at home and smoke pot and pretty much just sleep all day. I don't see why you would want to give that up. So they were talking about like the whole Stanicky thing, and he's like, it's a lie. Like, he's trying to be honest. Like, look, this is all a lie, you know, but then they have to cover really quick, like, hey, yeah, no, Ricky Stanicky lied to us.
No, because, well, let me preface, because while they were in Atlantic City, like, they actually decided, like, I'm going to hire this guy. Well, not in Atlantic City, but they eventually Dean hires Rod to pretend to be Ricky Stanicky.
Right.
And so, you know, in a situation like this, it's going to be found out at some point.
Yes.
It's got to come to fruition.
It has to.
It does.
There's no other way around it. So Wes is the one that's like trying to out them. And you have JT standing there with his newborn baby with no shirt on. And they're talking. And he was like, yeah, and they're like,
you got the two mothers sitting next to the bed, and the one is like, does he have to have his shirt off?
And he was like, yes, I do. He's like, this here will help regulate his body temperature, plus it soothes him. And then she's like, isn't that what blankets do?
But then the baby actually starts sucking on his nipple.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, for God's sakes, get my grandson off of that. And he was like, no, it's harmful to detach. Let him suck it out. It's the dumbest thing ever.
It is dumb. But I mean, you put a nipple near a baby's mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna go for it.
Yeah. So so in this, you got Wes who's like trying to come clean and just say like, look, this is all been bullshit. Like we've all lied to you. There is no Ricky Stanicky. But so Dean has to cover it up. But when they're walking out of the hospital, JT's mad at Dean for some reason. And they're like, dude, and he was like, dude, what the fuck was that? He was like, I can't believe this. He was like, you almost fucking blew it in there. He's like, I almost blew it? He's like, Wes is the one that almost outed us. You're standing there with your shirt off, nursing a fucking little baby Whitaker. He's like, horrible name, by the way.
But yeah, he covers up the lie, just saying like, no, he lied about the cancer. It didn't come back. He just wanted to celebrate with us.
So the best thing that you can do is blame your imaginary friend.
Of course.
That nobody knows about.
That's why he exists.
Exactly. So, but then it comes to where it's like, oh, well, we're going to have the bris next week. And, if he's still in town, like the bris is on Sunday, he can totally be there. And they're like, I don't know, he may have to leave Saturday. And they're like, oh, no, for this, he'll probably stay one more day. So now they're all together like what the fuck do we do?
Well, shit.
Like, we got to get someone.
Well, sir.
But their idea of getting the guy from the Red Robin commercial, it's a horrible idea.
Oh, that guy's a douche.
Well, yes, he is a douche. But two, it's like, he's on a Red Robin commercial. Like, people have seen this Red Robin commercial. You can't be like, oh, yeah, no, that's Ricky Stanicky.
That's been Ricky Stanicky this whole time.
Yeah, I mean, so it's just a shitty idea. So Dean obviously has the best idea. He's like, well, I'm going to call that trained actor we met.
He's like, I know an actor that nobody else knows.
Exactly.
And
So
he's got Rod's business card.
Yes.
It just says trained actor.
I like when he answers the phone because his song is "Where Have All the Cowboys Gone?"
His ringtone.
Yeah,
yes,
his ringtone.
by Paula Cole. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's dressed as Britney Spears.
Yeah. So he answers and he's like, Rod Reinstedt, trained actor.
Which is funny because he just jumped out of the window and he broke his bottle of Jack.
Yeah.
And it's like broken on his piece of cardboard that looks like a homeless person.
He's just licking it up.
Yeah. But they go pick him up at the airport, and when they see him for the first time, he is in rough shape. He looks like complete dog shit. He's covered in sweat.
Yeah.
And
what did you want? He's like, what? What are you talking about?
What drugs are you on right now?
None. I'm not on any drugs. And he's like, oh, bullshit, you're on something. He's like, no. He's like, I've been cold turkey in the booze for 3 days.
Which beats my record.
It blew my
by
old
3
record
days.
by 3 days.
But it's funny when he goes and picks up his luggage, quote unquote luggage. He's like, please don't be the trash bag.
Please don't be the trash bag.
It's the fucking trash bag.
It's the fucking trash bag.
But while they're talking to him, well, it's like, you can't be like that. You have to be drunk. You have to be on point or whatever.
He's like,
yeah, but Ricky's doesn't drink.
He's like, I'm in the program. And then Wes is like, right. He's like, Ricky Stanicky's been clean and sober for 7 years.
Yeah.
And then when they're in the car and he's driving.
Well, before the car, at one point his face starts twitching.
Yeah.
And he gets his wallet out.
And he just bites down, and he was like, oh, yeah, no, I've seen this on Intervention. He's going through withdrawals. The leather soothes him.
Which makes no sense at all.
It's to keep him from swallowing his tongue.
But then he says something about somebody making like lobster soup or something. Like, what is
someone
that?
boiling lobster?
Because he's
like,
pissing his pants.
Oh, Rod. He's like, oh, yeah, no.
There it is.
There it was.
That was the official mic hit.
Yep. But he was like, oh, don't worry. It's not what you think.
It's just piss.
But when they're in the car and they're driving, and he was just like, oh, boy, I can't believe you guys picked me up in this. He's like, well, if we pull up to this bris, my cover's blown for sure.
Driving up in this gas guzzler.
Yeah. And he was like, yeah, right. Ricky's a tree hugger. So Ricky knows, or well, not Ricky, but Rod Reinstedt knows more about Ricky Stanicky than these guys know that they've made up for the past 30 years.
Which I want to know how he obtained the Bible before he shows up.
They sent it to him because that's one of the things they're talking about in the airport lobby is JT's like, did you send him the Bible? And he's like, I did. And the Stanicky phone. We FaceTimed. He was like, he's got it all down. He's like, trust me, he's a professional.
I want to know how much time lapsed before he actually flew down.
I mean, it kind of looks like he flew in on the Sunday because that's what they were saying. The bris is on Sunday, so it looks like he flew in Sunday morning or whatever. So I'm guessing that it's probably about a week. A week has gone through, like, Monday through Friday.
Well, before he goes to the bris, he's hanging out at Wes's place. So I don't think
yeah, because he had to get a shower.
So was it that same day? I don't know.
Yeah, really like they picked him up from the airport, and he was like, "Yo," he was like, "Wes, take him over to your place and let him shower, get him some clean clothes."
But Wes is like, "But my shower curtain's all moldy or whatever."
Yeah, and he's just like, "Shut the fuck up, Wes." He was like, "You're doing it." He's like, "Me and Aaron have to be at the bris early to help set up."
But it's weird because when you see Wes's place, it's like spotless.
I know,
like it looks very nice, actually.
Yeah, I like when he's coming out, dude. The bathrobe that Rod is wearing looks so comfortable.
It did.
It looks so comfortable.
It did, but it was way too short for him because he's too fucking tall.
Yeah, I mean, I think John Cena's like 6'5", 6'6", something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, but This is actually a good moment. So yeah, the movie itself is funny, but there are some like emotional and touching scenes in this movie, and he actually has a nice conversation with Wes. After which he finds out that Wes had told his current boyfriend,
Keith,
that douche.
Yeah,
his name is Keith, for fuck's sake. But
you can already tell you're not gonna like him.
God, just his face. Something about his face.
I know.
But Wes told him that Ricky Stanicky was bi and that they used to be in a relationship.
He was like, wait, was that in the Bible? He's like, how the hell did I miss that?
Like, no, it wasn't,
he's like, no,
it wasn't in the Bible.
I didn't write that in the Bible. And he's like, all right, fine.
Lay it on me.
Give me everything. He's like, what did we do? And I can't remember everything that he said, but I just remember the last one. He was like, Old Faithful.
Oh, yeah, because he comes up with all these acronyms, or not acronyms, but...
just like nicknames
for having
gay,
sex.
Yeah, gay sex or whatever. And he was like, what? No. He was like, I just told him we were dating for a while. And he's like, oh, I guess I didn't do it for you.
Like, well, I still have to let you know that he's still threatened by you. But what's funny is because before he finds out that Wes told Keith, dickhead, whatever, it's not important, that he told him he was bi. He saw a picture of the two of them in like a hot tub, and he's like, gay much?
He's like, yeah, I was really feeling the gayness that day. And he was like, oh, so you're, and he's like, gay. And he's like, and this is Keith, my partner. It's like, oh, sorry. But he does this. He has this kind of infectious charm about him. Like when he finally shows up at the bris, probably one of the funniest scenes in the entire movie, because you can see him still kind of going through the withdrawal. So it's like, he's trying to open the bottle of water and he's shaking. And then Dean comes over and he's like, hey, God, you got to pull it together. He's like, why don't you just grab like a Red Bull or something? He's like, hey, I don't appreciate line reads, okay? Just like turns around and leaves. He's like, I'm a trained actor. So then when people start questioning him about things, he starts talking about the merger that Dean's company's going through. And he's like, oh, this could be a real game changer. And he's like, game changer? How? He's like, oh, come on. You're old school. They're new school. He's like, you guys are kind of old dinosaurs. They're hip and young. He was like, I mean, this merger, he's like, if played properly, you guys could make a real difference in the world. And then he just goes off, and then Dean follows him, and he was like, how'd you know all that stuff about the merger? And he was like, oh, what are you talking about? He's like, I'm reading your Twitter the whole time. It's been all over. He's like, so I just did a little bit of research. And he was like, what the fuck are you doing on my Twitter? And he's like, hey, I'm an actor. When I go into a room, I want to know where everyone has been. He was like, look at Matt Damon. He bought a zoo before they filmed. We bought a zoo. And he's like, I don't think that's right. And he was like, hey, take it up with Reddit.
It's a very reliable source.
Yeah. But then when I think her name's Leona or something, is it's not JT's mom, but it's her mom.
Oh, she's skeptical the whole time.
Yeah, so she comes up and she was like, what at this Give Green Foundation? And then she was like, I want you to admit that you're just a complete fraud. And then, he takes a second, composes himself, and he was like, I'll tell you so. He's like, I'll tell you this, Leona, and then goes into this whole spiel about everything. He was like, they've generated a 63% return. They didn't have to do it, but they did it because they're good people. He was like, and we can get those rates even higher if we get other people on board with banks and things like. And then she's just kind of like, huh. And he's like, I wonder where those cheese puffs went off to. And goes inside, and then they're like, where the fuck did you get all that? And he's like, hey, gotta buy the zoo, baby.
But when what's his face shows up, the one from the was it the Arby's commercials?
Yeah.
Or the Red Robin commercials?
Yeah, the Red Robin commercial.
Like, and then Rod thinks that he knows him, and he thinks his cover is going to be blown.
Yeah. He's like, shit, I know that guy.
The guys like come up with a plan. Or, well, we got to get rid of him somehow.
Let's K-hole him.
Come again?
Yeah, we're going to drug him with ketamine.
So how they play this is they're upstairs and they're throwing peanuts, like trying to catch peanuts in like each other's mouths.
The person throwing the peanut has to keep his foot on the couch. The other person is, I would say, 10 feet away.
Give or take, yeah.
Yeah, can't really move, so you have to throw the peanut, catch it in your mouth, eat it. Well, he's coming out of the bathroom. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, we're just playing this game. He was like, you get 3 peanuts in your mouth. You get $20 from each of us.
Yeah, because first it's
what, you want to give it a shot?
First JT is catching the peanuts, and he's getting all psyched when he catches one.
Yeah, he's like, oh, and then he's just like, bad throw. So then he was like, yeah, I'll just like, fuck it, I'll do this. So he catches one. He's like, boom. He's like, that's how you do it. And then he catches another, and he was like, yeah. And he's like, I'm just as good at Wes as catching nuts in my mouth. He's like, right, because I'm gay. He's like, I'm so glad we're doing this.
Fucking dickhead. So they throw a couple peanuts just to get him started.
Yeah.
And then I think JT is the one throwing it. He grabs the actual pill. And
it's Zac Efron still throwing them.
Oh, was it Zach?
Yeah, and he throws the pill finally as the third one.
And then out of nowhere,
in slow motion,
Jeff Ross, who's playing the Moyle, yeah. Oh, Moyle rules. He comes in and he ends up catching the pill in his mouth, and I think I got a bad one.
Bitter.
Which I don't know. I mean, you may not know Jeff Ross by name, but you probably recognize him by face. He does all the like Comedy Central roasts.
Yes.
And outside of that, I think he used to do stand up, but like I was very surprised to see him in an actual movie.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him in like he's had cameos here and there, like in a few different TV shows I've seen. I think he was in a movie like a long time ago back in the 90s.
Sounds about right.
But the best roast I ever heard him say, and I cannot remember who he was talking about.
Charlie Sheen, maybe?
No. I mean, dude, this was back in, I think, like the late 90s. Because B. Arthur was there. And he was like, he's like, please, this chick's so ugly. He's like, I wouldn't fuck her with B. Arthur's dick. But yeah, no, so he's drugged and he's getting ready to perform this circumcision. And Dean's like, dude, we got to stop this. And then Wes is like, no, just calm down. He's like, we got about a half hour. It's like, don't worry.
Yeah, but as he starts performing the circumcision and he's like slurring his words, like he's
like, we have to honor the commandments. The condiments? Commandments?
He's like, as I perform this circumvention.
Yeah, and then he lifts it up and he was like, oh, I'm going to need a steak knife. He's like, what is this, a bar mitzvah or a bris? And then the wife's sitting there and she was like,
is he drunk?
And he's like, I don't know. I saw him eat a peanut earlier. Maybe he's having a reaction. I don't know. And then he just falls back and someone catches him. And then the wife's just sitting there and she's like, oh my God, he's allergic to peanuts. And the old lady in the back's like, what's she saying? She's like, he's allergic to penis. And he's like, oh, he's in the wrong profession.
Yeah.
But there's an argument. They're like, no, we need someone to come and do the circumcision.
Yeah, and then he only gets halfway done.
Yeah. And then here's Keith standing up and he's like, just have Ricky finish it. He worked for Bono's nonprofit, circumcising Africans. And then JT, Summer Hayes, played by William H. Macy, his part is hysterical because he stands up and he was like, for God's sakes, get the baby to the hospital. And they're like, yeah, hospital. Like, I'll call an ambulance. And they're like, no, this has to be performed right now. Like, per our Jewish tradition, it has to be done. So then they're like, oh, well, I'll just get another Moyle. Like, I'll look on Yelp. And then the wife's like, there's no Yelping. And then they're like, oh, yeah, no, we can just get Ricky to do it. And they're like, no, don't we need a certified Moyle? And they're like, no, he's already gone through the blessing and everything. We just need to finish it off. So
didn't they say something about like, well, circumcising a gorgeous black man's dick is different than a baby?
Yeah. And then Summer Hayes is like, you would think. But, Ricky or Rod is just like, yeah, I can do it. So he goes up there and
he gets like a cigar cutter.
Yeah. And just snips it off. And he was like, yep, just a little snip of the tip. But this is where you kind of get introduced to Summer Hayes's little tick that he has. And he doesn't know that he does it. But he's a world-class air dicker.
He does it for a brief moment at the bris.
Stanicky.
And he shakes his hand in front of his face
like he's
jerking a dick off. But like later on, Ricky actually gets hired at the company.
What the fuck did you just say?
What the fuck did you just say?
I just said, I said, what'd you say? Say that again.
You said it was awesome.
I said it was awesome. Well, say it again. No, just one more time. So they can't believe it. They're like, yeah, that's why I hired him. So he gets hired at Summer Hayes Financial.
And Dean and JT are trying to convince him that's a bad idea.
Yeah. When they go into Rod's office, Rod is talking to, I can't remember his name. I keep wanting to call him Andy, but it's like the IT guy. So he's like the IT guy, the tech guy, the AV guy, and the interior decorator.
Yeah, because Ricky's complaining about the desk.
Yeah, he was
it's
like,
made out of the wrong kind of wood.
Yeah, he was like, hey, I just want you to know that this desk, he was like, I was wanting to see something in like a mahogany or a birch. I believe that this is Carolina pine. That's a shit wood.
It's a shit wood.
He's like, in the walls, I would like to see something in a ham color.
During the end credits, there's an actual moment where it shows him holding a sandwich up to the wall to try to compare the color. Fucking ham.
I know.
Who wants pink walls?
Nobody. Come on. But then, so you have that. And then when they go in and he was like, oh, yeah, no. It's like, Summer Hayes started you out at $250,000? And he was like, yeah, but that's for the whole year.
As if that makes any difference.
I know. It's still a shit ton of money.
Right.
He has no experience whatsoever. He's lied his way through the past 2 days. And then when he goes to Dean and he asks him, he was like, hey, I think I figured out what's wrong with this merger. And they're like, oh, yeah, you've been here one fucking day? You figured out the inner workings of the company? He's like, oh, come here. He's like, come on in. So here comes Wes, and they're like, what are you doing? And he was like, oh, what? Young Wesley shows great promise as my attaché. He's like, show him. So he shows him, and he was like, yeah, see what he's doing? And they're like, what? And he's like, I took this in the office in the meeting this morning. He's like, this guy's a world-class air dicker. He's like, what? And he was like, yeah, remember Obama had that thing where he would hit the table to prove his point? And he was like, he does the same thing. But instead of hitting the table, he has invisible dongs in front of his face.
Yeah, so when they're in their conference, you see him actually recording.
Yeah.
And you see him doing it multiple times.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you got to show this guy.
Yeah, he's like, so should I show him? And they're like, what? Yeah, go show him. Because they're like, oh, he's going to get fired. Because he's going to go in there and be like, hey, Ted, I need to talk to you. You're a world-class air dicker. And be like, all right, that's it. Get the fuck out.
See,
that's what
you
they're
just
all
did
expecting.
it just then.
Yeah. So he goes in there, and I love the little last-minute look, like the thumbs up, and they're like, go get him. They're like, it's nice knowing you, Rod. Goodbye. And then, he's in there for a second, and then you just hear Summer Hayes like, what the shit? And then comes out, and he's like, you two, in here, now. So they walk in, and he was like, you know about this? He was like, you know? And then, but as he gets mad, he was like, I swear. And then he starts doing it again, and Rod's like, watch the air dick and Ted. And he's like, so he's like, and they're like, look, we don't know that you did this all the time. They're like, we've never even noticed. And he was like, okay. And then here comes the AV guy, and he was like, yeah, no, I got the conference brought up. And it shows him turn to the left, and he does it, and he's like, we need to be bigger. He turns to the right, and he's like, we need to be stronger. And he's like, oh, look at that. You're air dicking left and right.
Yeah, but then it shows him like he's holding one hand in front of his face, like he's holding a fist, and the other one's like underneath it.
Yeah.
And he's like, look, I'm like air cupping the balls.
But I do like it when he gets like really animated, and he's like, you just air dicked 4 times in 10 seconds.
That must be a record.
He's like, this is exactly why they don't want to do business with us.
Oh man! But then he does it towards the end of the movie where they're having that big conference where they're talking about the merger. All these people fly out from like San Francisco and everything
because they find out that Rock Hard Rod Ricky Stanicky is going to be hero of the week. And it's funny because Wes can like never get it right. He was like, dude, and Dean's like FaceTiming with Wes, and he was like, no, he's like, this is going to ruin Aaron's career. He's like, no, we can't do this. But Wes is just like, man of the year. That's awesome. He's like, no, it's hero of the week. Like, how much pot have you smoked today?
Oh my God! I just channel 40-year-old version. How many pots have you smoking? He's like, what does that even mean? But Dean's girlfriend, Erin, found out about Ricky Stanicky, and
she's like, oh, you mean Rock Hard Rod?
Yeah.
And he's like, what? And it seems like, yeah, if he just told the truth, things could have been figured out a lot.
Avoided all this.
Yeah. I do like when because they have the party to celebrate the hero of the week and discuss the merger. And when Dean goes up there and he finally just comes clean.
Yeah, because Tom, he goes up and he doesn't know what the hell he's going to say, I guess. Yeah. He looks all disheveled, but Dean walks up towards the stage and he's like, oh, but actually, let me have Dean.
Yeah. Well, before that, when he's walking up, he bumps into JT and Wes and they're like, oh, what? They're like, where the fuck is Ricky? And he's like, he's not coming. He's like, there is no Hero of the Week segment. It's like, yeah, no. Erin knew about this at the bris. Like, she figured it out then. And she lied to us about the Hero of the Week. And then JT's like, what, she lied about it? That's pretty fucking shitty.
You've been lying your entire life, dickhead.
Exactly. Like, this has been the one lie that you've told thousands and thousands and thousands of times.
Yep.
But I just like it when someone lied to them and he was like, that's pretty fucking shitty.
Yeah. My, how the turntables.
So Dean goes up there and he was like, yeah, no, there is not going to be a Hero of the Week segment. He was like, the truth is there is no Ricky Stanicky. He was like, I made him up a long time ago. But Leona's face, right away, she's like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
She's like, I knew it.
But the one thing that I was thinking before I finished the movie, when Rod gets hired at the company, I was like, how can he cash a paycheck if it's not made out to Rod?
Yeah, I don't know.
And then you find out later he actually had his name legally changed and expedited.
Richard Barbara Stanicky.
He really committed to this role.
That he did. And I do like Wes.
Man-tooth.
When they were, it was just him and Dean having the drinks. And he was like, you know what your problem is, Dean? And he's like, what? And he's like, you lie too much. He's like, oh, please. Like, come on, you lie just as much as I do. And he's like, man, only because you make me. He was like, look at this. He was like, and Wes actually says something that's incredibly intelligent in this scene because he's like, look at this. He was like, Rod had a fake life and made it real. He's like, you had a real life and made it fake.
Yeah.
It hit home.
It was a very good line.
I mean, I'm not a liar, but
I mean, honestly, when he was showing Rod the children's book that he was writing,
yeah,
like the moral of that story was actually very touching too.
Yeah, it was a very touching story.
Even though Rod shit on it.
Yeah.
Because it's about
He's like what the fuck do you know about seeds?
It's about a bunch of seeds, and like this whole group of seeds get blown up to the top of a mountain, but one of the seeds actually falls down to the very bottom of the mountain. But then some rainstorm comes, and then the water actually comes from the top of the mountain down to where this one lonely seed was stuck, basically, and then it grows into this big, tall tree, even taller than the ones that were at the top of the mountain. And he's like, the whole moral of the story is it doesn't matter where you started from, you can still be successful.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very, very, very powerful. And
yeah,
then Rod just shits all over it. That's not you.
Well, that's shit. It's like,
fuck off,
the
Rod.
hell you know about seeds and seedlings and shit?
I want to give him a seed.
I mean, I can't think of too much more from this movie.
So the only other thing that I know we didn't talk about yet is Erin is forced to do this really shit news story about this duck.
The duck.
This
Fuck
duck.
A duck.
That it's terrorizing this, not really terrorizing the golf course, but there's a golf ball.
Yeah, it's a standoff.
That somebody hits, and the golf, she thinks it's an egg.
Yeah, so she just goes and lays on it.
And won't get up. Won't leave. And so Dean goes and he's walking their dog.
Yeah, but Dean tells her, he's like, oh, well, he's like, come on, that duck's not going anywhere. Let's just go get some lunch. And she was like, nope, I'm stuck here for the next 4 hours unless she moves. And he was like, moves, huh? It's like, okay. and drops the leash to the dog, and he's like, "Go get him, Paul."
Who names a dog Paul?
I don't know, but it's pretty awesome.
It reminds me, well, in Family Guy, there was that one clip of like Mayor West. Mayor West, he's got a crossbow that shoots cats.
Oh, yeah.
So he's like shoots a bunch of cats out, but then he has to go and collect them all.
Yeah.
So he's got like a basket, and he's like collecting all the cats, and he's naming each one. And he's like, "Oh, there you are, Whiskers. Oh, there you are, Mittens, whatever." And then he gets to one. He's like, "Oh, Paul." And then he just starts laughing. He's like, "Oh, who names a cat Paul?"
Man, I miss Adam West.
Oh man. Yeah, that's pretty much the only other scene I can think of, except when Dean and Rod are in that one, like a utility room or something, or like not a janitorial closet. It's almost like a storage room.
Oh, yeah.
And Dean starts like kind of beating the shit out of Rod.
Yeah. He's like, well, at first, because like he had just said the air dicking thing, and then, Summer Hayes is like, "That's it." He was like, "Stanicky's running point on this from now on." He's like, "He tells me how it is." So as they come out, he was like, hey, Dean. He was like, "Look, that escalated quickly in there, and I'm terribly sorry. Like, I'm not trying to step on your toes, but I mean, I got to ask you something." He was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "What is it?" And he was like, "Hey, let me get this out." And he gets his phone out to press record. He's like, "I don't want to miss one more to this." He's like, "How big of a raise should I be asking for?" It's like he's been here one day. You're the highest paid executive in this company. You're blowing everybody else out of the water. You know nothing about this business. And on your first day, you're going to be like, "How much of a raise should I be getting?"
Yeah, but Dean tries to corner Rod because he's like, "You got to stop doing this. You can't do this anymore. You're not Ricky Stanicky." And then
he's like,
this is
"Yes,
when
I am."
Ricky pulls out his driver's license.
Yes, I am. It's like, "I'll show you."
He's like, but yeah, there's nothing more I really want to talk about without giving anything away, because it is a fairly new movie. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that haven't seen it yet. And
right.
It's on Prime Video now.
And it is.
For free. So I definitely recommend this one to everybody, even though we ruined the entire plot line. But it does have a pretty happy ending, but I'll let you guys figure that out for yourselves.
Yeah, I mean, because you might think it's a shit ending. It's a shit baby.
He's a shit baby.
Right.
Anything else?
No.
All right.
So, until next time.
Quotable Podcast out.
Dream cream.